Hi, I'm Mike, the two-lane traveler, bringing you another road trip in video. This is Lee Wood's world of Roadside Americana. By the way, that's my name for it, not his. He hasn't decided on a name yet, but I think mine fits the description pretty well. Lee has an eclectic collection of everything Americana spread across about 2/3 of his 60-acre plot of land where his driven towing business resides. Stick around and you'll see some really cool stuff. He's long been a collector of classic vehicles and gas station pumps and signs. But when he saw his first roadside giant Muffler Man a few years ago, he decided he had to have one for himself. I'll let him tell the story from here.
Well, we was driving down Route 66, and the first time I ever seen a Muffler Man was on Route 66. And I told my wife, I was like, man, that'd be cool to have one to represent our record company. So we kind of got on Marketplace and then the internet, and we deal with a bunch of signs, and we found a guy out of Oklahoma that had one. And I tried to talk him into selling it, and he told me he wouldn't sell it. Well, then Joe Baker's name pops up, so my wife contacts Joe Baker, and we told him kind of we wanted a tow guy, and he got a hold of Mark Klein. Mark Klein sent him a drawing, sent it to me, and this is what we came up with. Now, he's supposed to resemble me, but he's a younger version. I got a bunch of gray hair, so when we need to maybe refurbish him a little bit or make him look like me, we're going to have to put some gray in that beard and the hairdo, so that'd be the next thing to do. So he's just a younger version of me, probably a little better looking too.
As Lee waited for his Towman Giant to arrive after being built, he came across an opportunity to buy an original Bunyan-style Muffler Man that he found in Bache, Oklahoma. In September 2022, a month before his Towman Giant arrived, this original Bunyan-style Muffler Man appeared on his property. He's one of the earlier Muffler Men to be created by International Fiberglass in January of 1964. Although his paint looks pretty rough, he's actually in very good condition. Lee hasn't decided whether to leave him as is or give him a minor restoration and repaint. He also has a third idea that he doesn't want me to share right now, but it'd be really awesome if he decides to move forward with it. I think he'll proceed with the idea whether it's with this particular Giant or not, so stay tuned. The third Muffler Man Lee acquired has an interesting backstory. He's the only original-looking Chevron oil Muffler Man in existence, and he's been beautifully restored to his pristine original condition. He hasn't always looked this way, though. By the time Lee bought him, he'd been changed into a Mr. Spock Giant based on the original Star Trek TV series. In between his original Chevron Man appearance and becoming Spock, he'd been changed into several other characters, including Ronald Reagan. People loved the Spock Giant, and some were sad that Lee had him restored back to his original form, but he's literally the only Chevron oil Muffler Man in existence, at least in his recognizable original form. And who knows, Lee may someday recreate the Mr. Spock Giant to stand along with his others. The fourth Muffler Man standing at Lee's place is the rare Texaco Big Friend. Once upon a time, there were 300 of these Giants, but Texaco ordered all of them to be destroyed in the 1960s. Somehow 6 survived, and only 4 of them still look like the original Texaco statues. And for now, at least, only 2 of them are publicly accessible. This one and the one at the American Giants Museum in Atlanta, Illinois. Here's Lee to tell this one's backstory.
Hey, how you doing? My name's Lee Woods. I acquired him probably 2.5 years ago. I got it from Robbie Wolf from American Pickers. Had a I argued back and forth with him on prices and all that stuff. Acquired that Giant from him and a car from him at the same time. Took it to Regiants in southern Illinois to get refurbished. 2 years later, I finally get him, and this is what he looks like. Real nice, best Best job you can ask for. Just took a little bit longer than we wanted to.
These are some of the other statues on the property. Here's Ronald McDonald, Manny, Moe, and Jack from Pep Boys Auto Service, and the rare Fisk Tire Boy from the 1930s. An example of the ubiquitous Big Boy. An unusual hot dog whose origin I'm unaware of. An automated flagman whose motorized arms held flags to warn drivers. Me in a second example of Ronald McDonald seated on a bench. A standing Esso gas station tiger. A squatting 7-foot-long Esso Tiger. An A&W Mama Burger, an A&W Teen Burger, and a rare Taco Bell boy. Lee has 18 gas station signs standing and another 120 plus signs waiting to be placed. It's my understanding that all of the signs are original. There are many gas pumps not yet on display, a Ronald McDonald playground set that will eventually be set up for kids, and many other items as well. And then there are the classic cars. Lee has a 1959 Corvette, my personal favorite, and you can see a Plymouth Prowler, a 1964 Chevy convertible, and a Cadillac in the background. Then there's a beautiful 1964 Corvette convertible. Lots of other classics can be seen all around as well. Several more Corvettes, a 1957 Chevy convertible, and many more historic vehicles are spread throughout the entire place. Although there's a lot more, I hope you enjoyed this visit to Lee's place in Hot Springs National Park, Arkansas. Maybe the best thing about Lee's collection is that he's constantly adding to it. About a week after I visited him, he and Diane took a trip to Augusta, Kansas to purchase his 5th Muffler Man. When I first saw the Waving Giant, he was part of Glenn Good's collection in Gainesville, Texas. He was then acquired by Jason Lee Bradley at Preservation Acres in Augusta, Kansas, and I photographed him still laying down. Now he'll have a permanent home at Lee's place. And that's not the end of things. Far from it. In July alone, Lee is planning on the arrival of 2 more giants. One is a Phillips 66 Cowboy like the one shown here, which is standing at the American Giants Museum in Atlanta, Illinois. Lee's won't look exactly the same as this one, but it will be similar. And the other one that's coming is a surprise. I'll wait and let Lee tell his audience about it before I spill the beans, but it's a very cool one, I promise. As he works out the layout of his property, including the relocation of the driveway, Lee will figure out the placement of the rest of his sign collection as well as future Muffler Man acquisitions, and there will be more. Watch for additional surprises down the road. He's also planning to have food service there in the form of a 50s-style diner, or perhaps a food truck court with several different food offerings, or maybe even a combination of both. I hope I've convinced you that Lee Wood's world of Roadside Americana is a very special place, a worthy road trip destination. Thanks for coming along with me on the journey. Share your thoughts in the comment section below and I'll be sure to respond. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you'd click the thumbs up and subscribe buttons. Thanks again for watching.